Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So today's video, it's starting off a little bit differently. Number one, I am in loungewear, and number two, I am barefaced for today's video. And the reason for that is because I am sharing my brow routine with you today. It's actually been quite a requested video. I have had a few people commenting on my brows and asking what I do to my eyebrows basically, so I thought it'd be quite nice to do it on camera. Initially I wanted to keep them and keep growing them out until the end of February, but it's at a point right now that I just want to sort them out a little bit. Like, I'm finding it really hard to do them and stuff when I put on makeup, so I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to wait any longer. There is enough overgrowth there. They have grown out enough for me to show you a before and after, so I thought today is the day. Today I'm going to share my eyebrow routine. And so this is them now, completely natural. I probably haven't had them shaped in, over a year now. We have pretty much been in and out of lockdown for almost a year, so I think it's been over a year since I last had them professionally done. So all I've been doing is really just letting them grow out and then doing some upkeeping at home with my own sort of routine basically. So I'll do a close-up and show you how they look now. Like I said, they are quite overgrown, so we are going to be doing a little bit of grooming, but I thought it would be nice to share with you how I do my brows, because you've probably seen me like fill them in loads of times, so I thought it'd be nice to actually share how I prepare them from the beginning. I'll try and bring you as close as I can. My camera struggles focusing quite so close up, but we'll see how we get on. Okay, so this is my eyebrow up close, and essentially all I'm going to do is just pluck these sort of stray hairs, the hairs that are basically overgrown and shouldn't quite be there. I'm just going to look into a mirror and do it that way. And I know it might not look like that much, but I literally just removed sort of the sparse ones that were just kind of on their own and looked quite obvious. But shape wise, I'm happy for it to look quite natural. Here, like, you can still see there is slight overgrowth, but I don't think it's anything too crazy. And I don't want to thin out this outer section either, because with my eyebrows, my outer corner is actually thinner than like the bulk basically, so I don't want to make that any thinner. So I think I'm quite happy with that. So the same on the other side. This side actually grows way more than the previous side I just did. This one definitely has more stray hairs that I need to get to. This is how my eyebrows are looking now that they have been shaped. I didn't try to create an unnatural shape or a shape that isn't naturally my own. I tried to stick to the way that they grow naturally, and I feel like that way it just means you have less upkeep. It's a little bit easier for you to keep up with it, particularly if you're not a professional. Like, I'm not a professional, so I find that I feel like shaping my brows would just be very difficult for me to do. It's something on your face, you don't really want to mess it up that much. Before I prepare to do any sort of eyebrow trimming, the first thing I do is just brush up my hairs with a spoolie, just so that all the hairs are up, they are at their longest, and I can see them well, basically. Admittedly, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to film and do this section at the same time, because I don't want to get it wrong. What I do is brush up my hairs like this so that I can see exactly where they are overgrown and where I want to go in with my scissors and trim. I leave the outer corner, like this corner, because I'm sure you can tell this is much thinner, so my brow hairs here are a little bit more sparse and it's definitely thinner, so I don't want to touch here because I don't want to do too much. Don't really want to touch this bit either, which is the bulk of my eyebrows. All I really want to touch is this front section here, which just grows up. It basically shoots up and is longer than the rest of the hairs. So once I'm happy, I will just brush up like this, and then with my scissors trim the bits that are too long. So this is the difference. This is the brow that I have trimmed down so that everything is just a little bit neater in my opinion. Still brushes up, like my hairs are still very natural, you can still see they're there, but it's just a little bit neater, which I personally prefer compared to this side where it just looks a little more scruffy. This one's neater, this one's scruffy. Obviously it's down to personal preference, do whatever you prefer. This is just what I prefer. It's the way that I just prefer styling my brows. Like it's personal preference, as I said. I mean, you might not like it this way, you might prefer this brow compared to this brow, but I personally prefer this side and it's my face, so obviously I'm going to do whichever one I prefer. So one eyebrow done, one eyebrow to go. That's how I shaped my eyebrows. They are shaped the way that I personally like them. And now the next step in my brow routine is to brow tint. And so the next step in my brow routine is to tint them. Tinting my eyebrows is actually a fairly recent thing that I started doing, something I started doing in lockdown actually, and honestly I think it makes all of the difference. So I have been using the Schwarzkopf brow tint in the shade dark brown. This is what you get inside. So it's an activator, the dye, and also a like mixing thing. So you do it all in here. So depending on the brow tint you use, follow the instructions and mix that together. Then the next step I do before placing any dye is to use something like Vaseline. I've just got a Vaseline that I'm going to use, and you pop this around your brows, on the skin around your brows, just in case any dye gets to those sides that it won't tint your skin. So this is quite an important step, so don't miss it out, just in case. Once your Vaseline is in place, like my very shiny head shows that it is, what you can do is apply your product. So it's been about 10 minutes. I mean, my eyebrows are looking pretty crazy right now, but it's time to remove them. So I'm just using some cotton wool pads and warm water, dipped in warm water, which is what mine require. And I just get rid of the excess. Obviously removed the excess, got rid of the Vaseline around my eyebrows as well. This is what they look like now. This is the result. Honestly, I feel like they look a million times better. I left the dye on for around 10 minutes, which is the max time for this particular brand that I use, and obviously you can tell it's quite a dark tint, but it matches my hair perfectly. It basically looks like my eyebrows are done. For the next week or so, I will just use tinted brow gel to sort of hold my brow in place, and I won't need to go in with a pencil or fill them in or anything like that. I really think a brow tint is such a game changer, but this is what they look like. So this is my nice eyebrow in my opinion. This side again I think looks so much better. You can tell though I have like some sparseness right up here in this section, which is much more covered up now with the dye, but this section in particular I do have some sparse areas, which I do think at times you can tell, but still, like, look at that. I really think it's the dye that makes all the difference with my eyebrows, and honestly I'm so glad I started using like tinting my brows at home, because it makes the biggest difference. So that is my brows done. This is how I do my eyebrows at home. So how I pluck them, how I trim them as well, and then finally how I tint them, and this is what they look like after. So I'll do a quick close-up of a before and after so that you can see how my brows look like at the start of this video and how they look now at the end of this video. I really love taking the time to do my brows. It's something that doesn't take too long to do. The most time you'll wait is 10 minutes for that dye to develop, but you can always do something in that 10 minutes. And once I've done it, I really feel like I look way more put together, and it just makes me feel that little bit better about myself. So it's definitely something that I really enjoy doing. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful and learned some tips maybe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, and let me know if there are any other beauty videos you would like to see me film, and I will see you all soon. A big thank you for watching. Bye.